Investor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Rational Investor. Blah, blah, blah. This is Julian. I'm very tired today, as usual. It's midnight. I had a long day in Thailand looking at condos because the owner of my condo is so great. Okay. Rarely do people buy a condo and then actually live in it here. Usually they buy it and they rent it. But my condo is so amazing that the owner of the condo is coming back from Japan to live here. So I have to find another place to live because he's finally not afraid of COVID anymore. He's an old Japanese guy. So, he's, I don't know. He was afraid of COVID and now he's coming back. So I have to find a new place to live. And, it's hard to replace perfection. This place is perfect in every way. And I'm finding out the more I look around how difficult it is to find somewhere. But yeah, so I'm here. I'm drinking some green tea, which you can't see because I have the green screen, right? So then the green bottle is kind of, you can't see it. I'm going to open the YouTube so I can see what you guys are saying. Let's see here. Who is here today? We have a lot to talk about as usual. Good morning, everyone. Or afternoon, actually. Morning if you're in the, Pacific time zone. Afternoon if you are on the East Coast or in England or somewhere in Europe. And good night if you're in Asia. Most people in Asia are sleeping now. I should be, but I'm awake for you guys. All right, let's see who's here. Hello, Omar. Hello, Min. Hello, DMAC. All right, let's get into stuff. Hello, Hafed. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Smash that like button if you like it. I feel so cliche saying that. I'm going to shrink myself and we're going to jump into the market and what's going on. Let me see. I want to shrink myself, not the screen. I'm going to get rid of this background. Nope, I want the display. Get rid of this. I'm going to shrink myself. You don't care about my face. Go over here in the corner. Yes, put me in the corner. All right. Hello, down here. I'm small. What is happening up there? Tons of people are getting fired. Oh my God. So what's going on right now in the world of the market or anything that relates to the market? Hello, Masood. This is Julian, not Brian, just so you know. Unless, maybe I am Brian and Brian just had a amazing makeover. It's possible, right? I don't know if he might consider it amazing. Hi, Cotter. Welcome, Fuzzy. Good to see you guys. Yeah, Brian Jr. I don't know how I should feel about that. So one of the things I wanted to, well, let's look at the calendar. What's going on? It's technically the second where I am. So let's go here and let's see what's going to happen. What happened today and what's happening tomorrow. So today we got the unemployment claims came out slightly above the estimate. Okay, that's a red flag. Unemployment claims spiking a little bit. Remember, when unemployment claims start to spike, that's when the market really starts to roll over. We need to see that happen. I need to see unemployment claims spike to really get really super, super, super bearish, even though I am kind of a perma bear. But I'm restraining myself a bit by watching this number, and you should too. Manufacturing came in pretty good. What else happened? That's it. And then tomorrow we've got non-farm employment change, average hourly earnings, and unemployment rate, and then revised consumer sentiment. I think the big one to watch for is unemployment rate, but we're going to see that it hasn't changed that much. It's probably just going to come in line. If unemployment rates were really spiking, I think the Fed would have done something a little bit different, but it seems like things are kind of just standing still, which is interesting considering some of the news headlines we're seeing. I mean, This is layoffs hit 10-month high as financial and tech companies slash 39,000 jobs. So here's the thing about this. Every January they cut jobs. They did the same thing last year. So don't get too hyped about this. Like look at the top line of this article. January was one of the largest months for layoffs in almost 15 years. So read the key lines here. Was one of the largest months. So not the largest, it was just one of. And that's like an attention grabbing headline, but it doesn't really change the reality of the situation. So what is the reality of the situation? The reality is 82,000 people were laid off, but last year we had 102,000 layoffs and the market went up. So how much does this matter? That's an interesting question to ask. Now the difference is that companies had planned to hire 32,000 people last January, but this January apparently only 5,000. So there's a little bit of the big difference. Creates a bigger difference. The only other time apparently when cuts were this high though was January 2009. I guess they're not counting the COVID thing. I mean, I think COVID had a lot of cuts. There were massive cuts during COVID, so they must have skipped over that. But you can see 2009, 24, 1. Yeah, I just wouldn't get, I'm seeing a lot of these headlines and I would avoid getting too bearish because of them. So I just wanted to touch on this. Let's look at investor sentiment. Let's see what investors are thinking. Holy crap. Why do you guys think it bumped up so much? We're at 49.1% bullish, 24% bearish. Huh. Let's look at the chart. I'll come back to this chart, by the way. This is a great chart that I'm going to be going over every week from now on. But let's look at the S&P. Why did people suddenly get so bullish? I think a big part of it was because we broke out of this kind of like uptrending wedge. This was my original like bear point. I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's delete this. I'm gonna get rid of this too. We don't need that. It's just messy, making a messy chart. And this too, and this also. So originally, this was a market that was looking like it could seriously break down over in right here in this area, right there. Okay. But instead, we bounced. And I think that's why there's a lot of bullish sentiment now, because this is quite a this looks a lot more bullish. If we look at a 3-day weekly chart, still quite bullish. Look at how we're on the other side. Look at my original thoughts were that we would turn here and roll over, but we didn't. We actually pushed above this uptrending line. We pushed through the wedge instead of reversing. Oh, market yet again surprises me. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they would run the highs. Might as well take out the 2022 highs. Why not run the stops? Anybody that has stops up there, why not run them? Omar asked, when do you think rate cuts start since the layout barometer is hinting at recession? I don't see it starting anytime soon. I don't see it. I'm not going to make that prediction. I think unemployment, usually the Fed is behind on things, so I think unemployment would really have to spike hard for them to start cutting rates. I don't see it happening until you see a significant spike. They're actually expecting unemployment to spike up to about 4%. Right now we're at 3.7, 3.8. They're expecting to see it go to 4. So this is all part of their expectation. You have to see it go past 4 for them to possibly start panicking. But why would they cut rates? Why? Because it's an election year? Stock market's at all-time highs. Why do they need to cut rates? The economy seems like it's doing great, other than a couple layoffs. You need to see a huge spike in layoffs. There needs to be some kind of cataclysmic event to cause there to be a rate cut. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't see the point, because the economy seems fine. Seems is the key word, right? At least according to the metrics I guess we're looking at. So this weekly, I didn't expect this to jump up this high, but it's looking quite bullish. Even this daily, still pushing higher. We had a 9 come in. caused this reversal. I'm gonna get back to this. Let's just go through this really quick. So huge amount of bullish sentiment. You guys know that I like to do the opposite of this. This is a very high figure. If we look at previous, so 49.1, when was it this high? We did have a 52 and a 51 back in December, Christmas rally, but it was never that high before. November 29, 48.8. It's been pretty high since all of this, and the market keeps going up. So I don't know how much credence I can give to this anymore. But in the past, it did work very well and was something I like to track as kind of a contrarian indicator. But I'm a little bit remiss to give it too much credit anymore, simply because it doesn't seem to be. It seems like the market's going up no matter what. So. Yeah, well, that's that. I just thought I'd touch on it. Let's look at reverse repo. Are they still draining the repo facility? The answer is yes, but at a slower pace. I mean, January 8th was at 691 billion, and now we're at 615. So, I mean, January 2nd is at 700,000. So we only went down we only took out about 100 billion in January. So they really slowed down the reverse repo usage. So we've got, I mean, at the current rate that they're kind of using this at, we've got another 6 months, which some people consider, as long as there's funds in the reverse repo, that the market will use those funds to continue higher. I'm not sure how true that is, but this is something I think it's important to check on every week and keep look for any kind of red flags. The one other thing I wanted to show was, where is it? Oh, back here. Yeah. So speaking of liquidity and things related to reverse repo facilities and stuff like that, this green line is tracking basically liquidity in the system. And then the yellow line is Bitcoin, and the orange line is the S&P. To just show how these are kind of connected. Liquidity is having a bit of a pullback here. So something else to also keep in mind for anyone that's overly bullish, understand that liquidity is not being pushed higher like crazy. It's kind of being pushed lower a little bit, which might be why reverse repo is stagnating. So, something else I wanted to point out regarding liquidity in the system, and something I think you guys should all keep your eye on. You can copy this to recreate the same thing. It's just, and it only updates once a week though. That's the only unfortunate part. So last update was January 29th on Monday. If you want to create it yourself, just copy this symbol up here. Pretty easy. There's that. Okay. Where do I expect the S&P to go from here? Well, let's drill down to these lower time frames. And before I do that, let's look at options expiry tomorrow. So 4,900, 4,925, 5,500. Basically, max pain is below 490. Where are we now? Yeah, we're basically right below there. I will be surprised if we push above 490 or we go below 480 going into Friday. I just don't see why why bother paying this out. Just hold the market where it is, and then you don't have to pay anyone. Just keep it right here. So I don't expect to see any kind of big movements in the S&P. I mean, it's possible if there's some kind of news event, but I don't see anything huge. I think it makes sense that they would keep it kind of sandwiched in this area, just to avoid paying out any of that options premium and the zero ODT. Okay, so where do we go from here after tomorrow while it's stagnating? I wish I had a good answer for that. I really don't have one. I think we're in a weird spot. There was a major breakout that just happened. We're getting a pullback because this 9 came in. But I need to see some kind of RSI breakdown on the daily before I can get truly super bearish. Right now, I would be careful turning bear. I think you should lean bullish. Hi, Gills. Hello, Richard. I had a very long day, Richard, but I am here and doing the show for you guys. Yeah, but the market is in a little bit of a confusing spot, to be perfectly honest. And I think this is quite the breakout. If we look at this as a W confirmation, actually, where does this point to? It's midnight. It's 12:20 here. 12:20 midnight. Yeah, so I think something like this would make sense. So oftentimes this 1.618 and 2.618 are tagged in our reversal areas. You can see how we're ping-ponging in between this. 5,100 would be a target that kind of makes sense for me. Maybe that's an ABCD from here. Yeah, it's close. 5,070. Usually there's like an ABCD, and the 4.669 is right around that area. So I would expect the market to go up to here. Look for a move into this area before you can really consider any kind of shorts. I would be very careful otherwise. I want to see some type of more of a divergence here, especially on like a 4-hour chart. There already is a bit of a divergence forming, but this looks like a break higher right here, especially on like a 1 hour. We're moving above this VIP zone. Am I discerning? Can I discern anything else from this? Not really. But this was a significant breakout. And if we take this as a W breakout pattern, the completion is right up here at 5,100. That's what it looks like to me. With a 3-day and the weekly looking like this, it's gonna be, you're gonna need a significant event to get this market to roll over before tagging this level. I mean, 5,000 is such a big, even just 5,000, that's such a big number. I don't see how it couldn't tag it. Why wouldn't it? So, okay, that's the S&P. We can look at the dollar quickly. So dollar's kind of breaking down here. It explains why gold is breaking out. I mean, this is a very, very obvious breakdown, right? So there you go. Just like that. Pretty obvious in the US dollar. Bearish on that. What would be my 3-day reversal signal? I'm trying to look at like what my target would be for you guys. There is a uptrending channel here on this weekly chart. So target could potentially be down here at 90, 97. Right there. If things continue to break down, which I'd prefer they don't. I'd rather the dollar go up, but it's not looking it's looking pretty grim here for the dollar. So that's bullish for the S&P and may drive us higher to get to that $5,100 target that we talked about. Okay, that's the DXY. A big one is gold. I totally missed this gold trade and I'm pissed about it because I don't live in the best time zone for trading. And oftentimes I'm out somewhere doing something when the market is most busy, like 9:30. It's 9:30 p.m. here. It's not the best time to be trading. So assuming this is on gold, we've got a bit of a W pattern here and a breakout higher. Target is 2,121. That's potential target for this gold breakout where it's been consolidating since basically November. I think it's kind of overdue for a breakout. You can see here also on RSI, right? Like that. Major breakout right there. Yeah, so I expect gold to go higher. At least the first stop would be 21.21, and then you've got your 8.77 up here, which is 2,200. I think those are two good areas to kind of target and expect gold to go to. And I think it's very reasonable expectation to see it going there. What if you're not in the gold trade now? What should you do? Well, you wait for a pullback and you buy on the pullback and use whatever criteria you have. For me, I think I like to buy if I see it as bullish with RSI, stochastic. I like to kind of buy at these like pivot points, these fib levels. So if it pulls back to like 1.618, maybe I'll buy it 2047, and then see where we go from there. Okay, so that's gold. How much time we got left? Let's check how much time we got left. Maybe I'll jump right into crypto. If not, then if we have lots of time. Okay, so we're at 20 minutes. We can do one of two things. We can jump into crypto and I'll spend 10 minutes on crypto, or I can talk about traditional finance markets a bit more, and then we jump into crypto. What do you guys think? I'm guessing you probably want to jump right into crypto. Kind of just checking who's paying attention. Crypto tastes great. Yeah. I can do crypto. Look at that reversal on Bitcoin. So no breakdown. One thing I do watch is a weekly chart, and there's really no breakdown here yet. This weekly chart. It's just like a steady uptrend right there. So until this breaks down, Bitcoin is bullish. It just is on these higher time frames. Here's a daily where you are running into some resistance like that. You know, there's your resistance. You see a 7 came in, and you're tagging the midpoint of the channel. Be very careful with Bitcoin here, because it could either break down very quickly, run some stops down to like 35,000 to 38,000, that area, or it could just skyrocket all the way up to 52 and leave you behind. There's really no good way to know which direction is going to head in, but those are kind of the two popular scenarios to keep in mind. I would personally kind of stay away from it for now. I think it's in a bit of a no man's land. It's a holding pattern since December last year. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. If we get a breakout of this RSI, then I could see us going up here to the 50s. But need to see that RSI breakout. Yeah. I'm just looking here, guys, see if I can glean any more information from this. No, I don't. No, nothing else really, other than what I already said. I just have to be patient here. Let's look at Link, please. You want to look at Link? Well, yeah, okay, we can do it. But I wanted to look at total before I did that. See if total kind of looks the same or a bit more aggressive. As of now, it looks basically exactly the same. As usual, if RSI breaks out from here, then you could see a significant move higher, and that might be what a lot of people are targeting and waiting for. So that's total. Good old ETH. All right, well, let's look at Link. We can look at Link first, and then we can look at ETH. Oh, now you're going to see why you're asking about Link. It really took off. Yeah, Link looks good. I mean, let me see something here. A bit overbought on the weekly chart and 3-day. But this is kind of the exact setup I like to see that has a high return and low risk. So you can see the breakout again here. All right, so it's just got to hold that breakout. And then if it holds the breakout, then you can get a significant move higher where you've got an ABCD, right? Like that. And you also have potential 4.669 level up to 28. How much is that percent return from the current? I mean, let's say you bought a little bit lower. Yeah, if we go from the current level, 65% move. It's pretty darn good for a blue chip, which I consider Chainlink. Like related to may not matter if careful. I'm not sure I know much about that. I just think it looks good, and if you're interested, then you could consider trading it if you want. For Ethereum, it's not as clear at all to me. This is a messy looking chart. However, it is still kind of in the bullish area above the VIP line. So I don't see why it couldn't reverse from here and head higher. It's kind of what I'm seeing with Ethereum. I mean, it's very, very similar to what I'm seeing with everything. Everything in crypto seems to be kind of connected. Probably because there's so many algos trading now. So not a surprise really that all of these crypto charts kind of look the same. You'd have to really go to the shit of the shit coins. Then everything will look completely different. But all these blue chips, yeah, they kind of look the same, right? And they play out the same unless there's some kind of major news event. Look at gold. Gold just keeps going higher. What else do I usually talk to you guys about? We talked about gold. We talked about the S&P. S&P, gold, DXY, precious metals, S&P in general. I mean, we can look at some stocks. You guys want to look at some stocks? We can look at like Tesla, right? So weekly breakdown on Tesla. This is a big deal. Very painful. Yeah, I also have seen this. Right, interesting. Very bad. This is very bearish right here, what I'm seeing with Tesla. You did have a 9 come in on the 3-day, so be careful with a bit of a bounce. But this looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, where would you... breakdown to $2. No way. Yeah. All right. Well, that's Tesla. CCO target. What do you mean by CCO? CCO. What is that exactly? I want to look at Netflix. We'll look at Netflix, Nvidia, maybe PayPal. Lots of people talking about PayPal lately. Bit of a divergence going on with Netflix from here to here. So something to watch out for. RSI. These RSIs in the dailies with these tech stocks are just like out of this world. Never seen things this overbought for. Uranium play. CCO target. Yeah, we can look at that. CCO. What is the full name? Kamiko? Is it Kamiko Corp? Looks like it's just going straight up. I mean, the bus was down here, and down here, and down here. And now it's like... it's not looking great. They're kind of just stagnating it up there on a weekly chart. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, it does keep increasing in value for some reason, but the volume is kind of dropping off a bit. I mean, you had higher volume back here in October 2022 and February, while here it seems like pretty anemic volume. So not a huge fan of this one. I was going to look at PayPal. PayPal's in the news about some stuff. All right, weekly still intact. Daily in like kind of no man's land again. Really not much information you can glean from looking at these daily charts lately with RSI. It's so messy. Yeah, this is the only one I can kind of can show and look at. By that I mean like this area. Possible breakout from the red wedge to the upside. Would not want to miss that move, so that's something I am watching closely. So that's PayPal. EMKR last week. Okay, we can look at it. EMKR. MCore Corporation. Yeah, this is a very Brian style name where it had a big dump and then kind of just slowly resetting, and now it's starting to lift off, which is exactly kind of what we want to see. So interesting that he pointed this out, because this is a really great one. MKR. Yeah, I like this stock actually. Let me see something. Yeah, it's really like the tiniest of W's on this. Yeah, like that. I'm just trying to see where the 4.669 takes us from this W breakout, and how do we line up here with the 2.618 and 1.618. I want to see some kind of reversal area. Yeah, pretty much here. 1.618 encountering resistance. But yeah, it could go to 470. Really could. You can check, like, if you get it for 50 cents down here and it goes to $1, then you double your money. Not a bad trade. Thank you, Brian, for suggesting this one. I will take a quick look at NVIDIA, but it also seems like an up-only stock. Yeah, it's just like crazy. Even on the weekly, you have like a 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, I was just reminded that we're at 30 minutes. This looks way too bullish. I wouldn't short this yet. Be very careful. It looks like it wants to go higher, if that's even possible after this like meteoric. I mean, this rise is just incredible. If you look back at where it was before and where it is now, you know, it's totally crazy. Okay. I think that's it for today, guys. Now I know if I'm going to be walking around all day and looking at condos and doing a million different things and going running in the evening, probably best to like pre-record the daily brief or just skip running that day, because I know I'm doing the show, because otherwise I'll be too exhausted. Which, yeah, I am right now, and I feel like I'm not making my point clear. Anyway, if you're a member, I will see you in the after party. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, put some water on my face, and I'm going to come back and we can go through any stock that you guys want, any crypto coin, and I'll do a full review and give my opinion and thoughts on where I think those are going, what I recommend you do. Yeah, Fuzzy, energy drinks are great, but not when I want to go to sleep, like right after this. That's the tough part. I'm drinking green tea. Nature's energy drink, green tea. Anyway, yeah. Hopefully everybody watching is a member. If you're not, sign up for a free trial. Come on over. You can ask about anything that you want, and I will personally answer you in the after parties, because it's a much smaller group of people. Well, not much smaller, but it's a kind of smaller group of people. And it's like a thank you to everyone for being a part of the TRI community. All right. So I will see you guys, most of you. And if I don't see you, sign up and come over, and then I will see you. But if I don't, hope you have a great weekend. And everyone else, I'll see you in like 5 minutes.